Welcome to another episode of LitTube. I'm Gerald and this is Chris. Justin's out this week with sickness. Hopefully he gets better. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news, especially in Baltimore and more locally than that, the Baltimore Ravens. If you've been watching ESPN for longer than 15 minutes a day, you know that the Ravens are the top of the news. Why? Because of one Colin Kaepernick. So what's going on, man?
I mean, the Ravens haven't ruled it out
Yeah.
as far as being able to sign him. I mean, I have a couple theories as to why they're still keeping it in mind.
We all have theories.
I mean, what comes along with Colin Kaepernick is the baggage.
Yeah.
But, a lot of people like to dance around the political issues, A lot of things comes with it as well. You look at it from an owner standpoint, from a team standpoint. If someone were to sign it, whether it be the Ravens or somebody else, I mean, a lot comes with it, whether it's a decrease in ticket sales, because people have publicly stated fans that they're going to boycott games, decrease in jersey sales, merchandise, stuff like that, bad publicity for the team. Now, personally if whether you're an owner or whether you're just a human being and you have more of an issue of someone taking a knee for what they believe in rather than the reasons why he took the knee.
Yeah.
So if you get more mad of that he took a knee than you do get more mad of Alton Sterling, Freddie Gray, then I think you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
But I think he will get signed. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest here. We talked about, me and Justin actually had an episode last week where we talked about this in depth. And, we talked about his stats. I mean, the guy put up decent stats. Of course he didn't win. He's on a horrible skeleton of the San Francisco 49ers that he took to the Super Bowl. Again, he took to the Super Bowl.
As soon as Jim Harbaugh left, the team fell apart.
The team fell apart. People were retiring. People were getting cut. I mean, freaking Torrey's on the Eagles.
Yeah.
Torrey Smith's on the Eagles right now, so he doesn't even have one of his main receivers. But, of course, he got Torrey after the Super Bowl. But still, one of the best receivers that the 49ers had at the time, they don't have him anymore. So you're looking at, again, a team that was nowhere near the team that he had when he went to the Super Bowl, and he still put up them numbers.
And that's the thing. So when it comes to it, you got to look at, I believe last year his stats were like 16 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he's not putting up the touchdowns that he needs.
But he didn't play that many games.
Exactly. And you also got to forget, the man did take a team to the Super Bowl. So Alex Smith got hurt. Colin Kaepernick took over. And he was playing at such a high level that Alex didn't get his job back.
Alex is in Kansas City.
And for a couple of things, if some weird events didn't happen in the Super Bowl, you could possibly say they may have won.
Yeah, okay.
But that's the thing. If you look around, not only at the quarterbacks that remain unsigned, but if you look at third string, second string, and even some starters, Colin Kaepernick is better than.
Exactly.
But I think it just comes down, if you put all the production aside, is people do not, meaning owners, do not want to deal with signing him, which is very sad.
So I was watching actually a video earlier, and I sent it to you about Ray Lewis, Shannon Sharp, and
Skip
Bayless. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yep.
And for the first time on LitTube, I'm going to quote Skip Bayless. Is this about football? The reason why he's not signed.
It's not.
And if that is the case, it should be. This is football. This is a game. What he does not really affect my bills. It's not affecting, the food I put on my table. Is he going to win games for Ravens? That's the most important part. Is he going to win games? And honestly, compared to Ryan Mallett, who, if you've watched the news lately, you've learned that Ryan Mallett is garbage as we expected. So,
but it's a thing of not even winning games.
Yeah.
It's the thing of, it's a question of if. So you can easily sign Colin Kaepernick for maybe the veteran minimum. So when you look at it, if, like you just said, if Flacco goes down or misses more than a week, who would you rather have? Would you rather have Ryan Mallett or would you rather have Kaepernick? And you look at other teams that have dealt with the same thing. A couple years back, the Cowboys dealt with it. Tony Romo got injured, and their backup quarterback, it was Brandon, the guy that came out from Brandon Whedon from Oklahoma State. So that's the thing. It's like who you wanted in the year before that. They had John Kitna. Yeah. So you really have to invest in a veteran quarterback in case something were to happen.
I think in a league where people are getting injured a lot more frequently, backups are just as important, if not more important sometimes. Because, again, if Joe Flacco goes down, you have a Ryan Mallett, and then you have some random arena football player that you've never heard of. Of course, they cut him and signed another guy, some undrafted rookie. But, again, you have a case that you have a quarterback who I'm not confident in Ryan Mallett. I hope that he does good because I'm a Ravens fan. I hope that he does good And if Joe Flacco is out, again, these are all theoreticals. These are all ifs.
Yeah.
Because we have no idea the state of that man's back. Is he going to come back? Is he going to play like RG3 did when he came back from injury? Scared. That's my guess. When you get injured, you play differently. Dennis Pitta, of course, last season, one of the great examples of anybody playing through injury, of course, ended his career just recently. I think his career is done. I don't think he's going to play again.
Some injuries you can't.
Yeah, some injuries you can't, but I mean, he played through it. But again, Joe Flacco, I don't know if he's going to play to that level of the Super Bowl champion quarterback that we saw that year. And
that's the thing. It's just, like you said, it's not necessarily a minor injury. You look at other quarterbacks that dealt with it. Tony Romo with the back. It's happened multiple times. All it has to happen is for him to put a helmet in his back. For him to fall on his back the wrong way.
Your whole movement is you're standing like this, just standing up.
Yeah.
Your whole entire back is unguarded. Bam. One hit. And you're done.
Exactly. Now, if Colin Kaepernick goes in and he talks with teams and he wants some ridiculous contract, but I also feel like he's going to get slighted because he deserves more money than some of the backups that are playing.
Yeah. He's going to take the league minimum. I would not be surprised.
To me, if the Ravens do sign him, though, I wouldn't say it's a publicity move, but I feel like maybe some of the statements that Flacco has made, some of the statements that Harbaugh has made, as far as just kind of lip service, I feel like it may just be they're doing like a charity by signing him. But just give it about week 2, 3, 4 in the season when quarterbacks start to go down. Quarterbacks not only start to go down via injury, but start playing bad.
Yeah.
How many times Colin Kaepernick's phone going to ring then?
Exactly. Colin Kaepernick's going to get picked up between now and week 4. I know it. I can guarantee it. But the way the Ravens are handling this, see, the weird thing about it is, and with the world we live in today, social media is sometimes a beautiful thing, sometimes a terrible thing.
It occurs.
And you go to any comment section under a Baltimore Ravens article, specifically WBAL, it's just a cesspool of stupidity. Because I get it, people have their opinions, and that's great, that's fine and dandy, but again, this is football. Is he going to win for your game? You're talking about boycotting a game. Trust me, I don't think they're going to lose out on money. There's enough people on wait lists for season tickets that will be happy to get them if you drop them.
And that's the thing. It's not Colin Kaepernick being a backup. That's not going to stop you from going to a game.
No.
It's not. It's just...
He's a backup. If he's a backup, he's not going to be playing over Joe. If he's a backup.
Yeah.
So what's it matter? You're not even going to see him on the field if he stays a backup.
And that's the thing. As of late, when you look at production, some of the other players that, let's say, have made legal mistakes have better production than what he has, but they get... And I can't even call Colin Kaepernick a second chance because he did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
He stood up for what he believed in.
He didn't do
and he
anything.
sent he just sent a message. And like I said, if you have a problem with the message that he sent rather than the reason why he sent the message, you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
But you look at people like Greg Hardy, who publicly have pictures and videos of beating his wife and still get signed.
That punter from the Giants.
He eventually released him, I believe.
Got released,
But then when you look at other players that have not only had issues with domestic violence...
We can even look at our own house. Terrell
drugs.
Suggs. I love Terrell Suggs. What he did to his wife?
Yeah.
Uncalled for.
Yeah.
But he's still there. He's still a veteran leader in that locker room. Still to this day. And Colin Kaepernick not from violence. But it also brings up a point about the Ravens. I mean, we just found out Crockett Gilmore got injured. Rashad Perriman, you said he got injured before we started filming.
Yeah, I believe he tweaked something on the sideline.
And again, this is Tuesday, August 1st, when we're filming. So at the moment, Kaepernick is not, signed. At the moment, a lot of these injuries are still being fully determined. But the Ravens have a serious problem with injuries right now. You lost Kenneth Dixon, lost Joe Flacco. You've lost one of your potential big receivers, and you lost your tight end, who was probably going to succeed, Dennis Pitta.
Yeah, and I think it's just at this point, like you said, it's just a depth standpoint. Who's going to fill that role? So you have, I believe one of the underrated signings in the offseason was Danny Woodhead to the Ravens. I think he's going to be great. But like you said, I mean, you get thin in a certain position, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
You start to bring in guys that have less reps with the team, not as much rhythm. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely as a Ravens fan, from a Ravens fan standpoint, it's alarming to me. And I talked to actually, believe it or not, my fiance about this, and she had been screaming, "No, they need to get rid of their training staff." There is something wrong with that training staff. Something's going on. Something wrong is there where your quarterback's hurt, your running back's hurt, your tight end's hurt, your rookie offensive guard is hurt. Everybody's getting hurt. And this is only the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that. Whether it's guys, I mean, I know that you obviously have your own will. You can refuse treatment if you need be.
That's true.
It could be just coming into training camp unprepared as well. I mean, when you look at it from a standpoint of like Eddie Lacy, I mean, overweight, so he comes into training camp. So it could just be lack of preparation in the offseason to deal with those injuries. Because, I mean, when I was in high school, you know, all my sports coaches, basketball, baseball, they said, you know, it takes 2 weeks to get in shape. It takes 2 days to get out.
Yeah.
So, you know, and these guys are doing heavy loads when they get to training camp. You know, it used to be, you know, look in the late 80s, early 90s, I mean, when the season ended, you know, it was a break. You know, vacation with your family, you were resting. Now, these guys are working out all the time.
Non-stop.
James Harrison.
I was about to bring him up. That guy's a monster. J.J. Watt.
Some of the workouts James Harrison does, I question, but...
Yeah. Steelers. We won't go too much.
But I mean, getting back to the depth standpoint of the Ravens, it is a big concern because when you look at their division, you know, you got the Steelers.
It is one of the most brutal divisions in the NFL. Still.
Yeah. Hands down. It's just tough-nosed football, and
you're tough if you're getting out of there.
And that's the thing. And you look at those games. I mean, besides maybe the Browns, they're usually all close games. You know, that are won in the trenches. And the thing is, like, do you have enough depth to withstand that? So,
I mean, like I said, I'm excited for the season, but with the amount of injuries we have, a lot of controversy, it's just at some point we really got to look and see what the heck is really going on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, of course, that we don't know, you know. For all we know, Kaepernick could be signed by Monday. We don't know. I mean, it is only Tuesday. At least when we're filming. It's Tuesday when we're filming. So there's no telling on what's going to happen. I mean, again, this is a developing story. And, I mean, like I said, if you watch ESPN for more than 5 minutes, you know that this is the #1 story they're replaying. That and the MLB trade deadline.
Right.
But other than that... You know, Kaepernick's in the news, and I mean, like I said, I think honestly, politics aside, the kid's going to land somewhere. Somebody's going to want him.
He has to, and
no question.
That's the thing.
Somebody's going to bite the bullet and take.
But the fact that they're taking so long, they're waiting for an injury to happen when he's easily better than most of the backups in the league is very sad.
What? Bortles? Who's Bortles? Why is he still starting?
Yeah.
Boom, put Kaepernick in.
And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong in the statistics, but last year I believe they stated that Blake Bortles, at least at the end of last year or midway last year, had thrown more pick sixes than he had touchdowns.
Wow.
So
he still has a job somehow.
Starting
job.
That's the thing. So that comes into question. I get it. You got to outweigh the positives from a financial standpoint as an owner, but it's just very disappointing as to what's happening.
It is, and like I said, I think the longer it goes, the more ugly it's going to get. The more ugly you're going to start seeing the fan base. I mean, the fan base is split. Some people want him, some people don't. If you actually recall our poll that we talked about last week, 88% of the people that follow us on Twitter that answered the poll said that he will be a good fit for the Ravens. And even going forward, even if they don't pick up Kaepernick, I do think it is in the Ravens' best option to draft someone in the next 2 years at quarterback. Draft a high draft rank quarterback. We need him.
Depending on what happens with Flacco.
Depending on what happens with Flacco, but even still, I think that it could be a good bet for us.
Could possibly, it could possibly be. I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, I hope Kaepernick lands a spot. You know, like you said, I think he would be, a good fit with the Ravens. I mean, when you look at it, like I said, from a standpoint of other people that may have done wrong, and let me correct myself because he did nothing wrong. In the NFL handbook, it actually states that it's not mandatory to stand during the national anthem. It's encouraged. In the NBA handbook, the union, it's actually mandatory, so they're required to. In the NFL, it's not. So when you look at stuff, people like Mike Vick, who did the dog fighting, he went to jail, he did his time, he came back. People still went to Jets games. So people still
wear their Falcons, that Vic jersey.
That's what I'm saying. People still wear Greg Hardy jerseys for the Cowboys, for the Panthers. When Ray Rice went through all of his stuff, they interviewed people that were outside tailgate and said, we'll support him if he comes back. So people that actually did wrong legally.
Legal wrongs.
Whether it's humans, illegal substances, animals, anything, did physical harm to somebody, and they were welcomed back to the league after serving their time wherever. You have a man that did absolutely nothing, just took a knee for what he believes in. to cause change or to
or at least bring awareness.
To at least bring awareness, like you said.
Yeah.
Because and that's the other thing. None of these owners are affected of the reason why Colin Kaepernick.
Again, Shannon Sharp said it best in the interview that was on what was the First Take, I think.
Undisputed.
Yeah,
on
sorry.
FS1.
Yeah, Undisputed. First thing he said, he's like, none of these owners will ever experience what was done to them boys.
Not to them, not to their children. Their
Shannon Sharp and Ray Lewis went on record and said they've been victims of police brutality.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing that Colin Kaepernick was, standing up for. Of course, Ray Lewis did the lip service of playing politician. Whatever, won't get
He was dancing around the answer.
Yeah, we won't get too deep into that, but it is a good point. These owners won't ever have to deal with that. So why don't you just play in your mind, just do football. Don't worry about it then. Do football. Do you sign him because he's good for your team? And what's the reason why not? I want to know the reason why not.
It's as simple as that.
Exactly. It's football. It's a sport. You're in to make money. You're in to win games. Who's going to get you to furthest?
And that's the thing. I would honestly respect a actual answer from.
I would. If you said that you didn't think he was good for your system, or you didn't think he was a good enough football player on your team, okay, case closed. Why is this still being talked about so much?
But it needs to be an honest answer. So when you look at it from an owner, from a GM standpoint, or even a coach standpoint, they're, like you said, they're giving you media scripted answers, PR answers. When you look at Pete Carroll, when Colin Kaepernick worked out for the Seahawks, he publicly stated the reason why they didn't sign Colin Kaepernick was because he was good to be a starter, but we already had one.
That's a good reason.
To not sign somebody because he's good to be a starter, but you could easily have a starter as your backup.
That's true.
It's just that doesn't make any sense because if he's the best available and I can get him for less than what somebody
you can get him for Walmart brand, great value, J. Cole,
That's the thing, and that's the other thing when you look at it from a standpoint of who he's had. I mean, when he went into San Francisco, he had Jim Harbaugh. Then it changed helms. I can't remember the name.
Kelly? Was it
Chip Kelly? Yeah, they were running the spread offense, and then it went to
I don't even know this guy.
Can't remember the guy's name. He was like real Italian looking. So you have in the span of 3-4 years, you have 3 different coaches, 3 different offensive schemes. So how do you expect somebody to get adjusted to that?
Exactly. Like I said, this is an ongoing story. We're going to be covering this, I think, probably hopefully it's not covered too long. Hopefully they make a final decision.
Hopefully.
I think, honestly, again, this is a developing story. By the time we post this, there could be another different.
Right.
But we'll be on it. But, yeah, like I said, again, bottom line is the Ravens definitely have an injury issue. The Ravens have now, it seems like a PR issue on their hands because they have to figure out how to appease the fan base. But, again, how to win football games. And
that's what it boils down to.
Final thought on this. Is he good for winning football games or not? That's the decision. And this is LitTube. This is our episode, so we're going to close it on this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're all over social media. Links are down below. And let us know what you think. Good, bad, ugly, and different. I want to hear it. Let us know.
Give us your reason why.
We want your reason why or why not. Let's start the conversation. Take care, guys. I'm going for the hippie black dude look right now.
Yeah, you got a mix between Kevin Durant and Red Fox.
He fucking Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah.
His beard is elite though.